Oh, so Drew, so thanks for chiming in. Are you of the mind that the Earth is a globe?
What's that?
Are you of the mind that the Earth is a globe?
Sure.
Okay, what do you think would be the best evidence for that?
I listen to the people that study this shit over 30, 40 years.
All right, give us an instance of someone that's given a good study about this.
I have no clue.
Okay. So do you think that you're just taking it on faith that someone's talked about the Earth being a globe and it is just a globe because you think that it is?
I don't know how to answer that. I guess.
No, truthfully.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay. Well, we'll see. That's the thing. We're examining how people just have this belief in the Earth being a globe, but there's no real evidence that it is based on images and videos and such. But there's no way to validate any of those things. Not in any real way that makes it known to you that the Earth is an actual globe. You have to take all this information they're giving you and kind of put some trust into it. That's what basically it sounds like you've done. You put trust into the information that's been given to you, but there's no way to really validate the surface being like curving, due to the fact it being a globe. I think that's really important, though, don't you? You?
So, I guess. So, what would happen if someone out here proves that that's not true? Then what happens? Like, what's the result? What's the end game?
Well, the result is there would have to be some hard evidence, and if that's been proven, then I'd like to see it.
And then
So,
after that,
do you know
like,
do you know anyone that could actually do that? That you know of?
No.
Well, I would like to meet that person that say they can do that.
Yeah, right. But I was asking at the end of that, like, if it is true and someone can prove it and have all the evidence and all this, all that, what's the end game out of it? Like,
Well, the end game
is it
is
just a conversation? Like, I don't
here's the thing.
understand.
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you like this. You're giving me a hypothetical that would occur, right? And in this hypothetical, if that were true, then yeah, then they would prove their case. But here's the reality, right? The truth is that in over the many years we've been doing this, every person from the top levels of academia come into this room and try to present the case that the Earth is a globe, have never been able to solidify the point that it is an actual globe. So we have like a contradiction. We have your wishful thinking that somebody might come in here and do that, and then the reality that no one has ever done that from top levels of academia.
Wait, that proves that it's a globe or that it's flat?
That proves that it's a globe.
Okay.
Never has anyone come in here and proven that the Earth is a globe.
Right.
And I guarantee you, we give people the floor so they can do so. I want to hear people put their best foot forward when it comes to this. And we're doing it also live on YouTube, so it can also show some transparency that we're not just shady characters just trying to, bottleneck people into the certain canned responses. I want you to really think on any way that you can describe the Earth being a globe. And, let it stand to reason that make it known to everyone that you know or you just believe. Is that fair?
It's fair, brother, but I think you got the wrong person because, like, I don't.
Ah, man. I mean, you're just the everyday
like,
Joe. I mean, yeah, I'm just really having a conversation with everyone. So maybe you're not the guy. Maybe perhaps you're not the guy.
I don't think like you understand because I have trouble explaining things. So I don't like I always look at like why people do certain things. So like I get what you're doing. Like if there's no evidence of something logically or whatever, prove it to me. And if you can't, I'm gonna tell you things of the reason why you're wrong. Right? I get that, but
what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with that, but like.
Okay.
There's so many other important things to talk about.
I know, but this being one of them, which is it's the way people critically analyze information. So critical thinking is absolutely paramount to navigate this earth, right? Like you have to process information. So critical thinking is a huge part about how we interpret things that are being told to us. So if you think that there's bigger fish to fry, I'm telling you, this is one of the biggest fish that you haven't fried yet.
But I'm not disagreeing with you. Like okay. I came in like, okay, I really don't know, dude. Like I went to school, they told me these things, and that's it. Like I don't want to try to prove you wrong, and I really don't.
It's not about that.
I don't even know why I'm here, honestly, bro. But like,
well, here's the thing. Well, maybe by divine appointment. I mean, we don't know. But here's the thing, right? So you are understanding that this forum is designed to help people critically think and process information versus you might think it's just some meme on the internet. It's not. People don't realize how to analyze and critically think about things being presented to them. What we're giving people here is the opportunity and the space to realize that they haven't been doing so. So right now, maybe you haven't thought about it, but now that you are, it's kind of like a conundrum. It's like, well, that's weird. I've never really thought about the Earth being a globe in a way that I can prove it. But now that I'm given the space to do so, I can't do it. I'm not the guy. That's fine. But what a lot of people have been taking along for, as many years as anyone has been alive, is that the foregone conclusion that the Earth is a globe and there's nothing more to look into because it's already been discovered and known. And when we're kind of poking and prodding this information, it sounds like people just have a belief, which it sounds like to me that's what you're carrying at the moment, if I'm being honest. So yeah, it's rooted in critical thinking, man. It's not just the topic, because we can go to many different topics, right? But this one specific one has to deal with the reasoning behind why people think the way they do. And it gets really people to dig down into how they analyze information. What's the process by which you would interpret information? And most of the times, it's you trust the people that are giving you the information. That's what it sounds like to everyone. Yeah, somebody told me the Earth's a globe. Somebody says that it is, but I trust that because, why would I have a reason not to? It's it's the leading idea.
I mean, if you really think about it, majority of us depend on trust on everything. I mean, look at contractors, look at engineers. We trust these people to build buildings, build vehicles, do this, do that. So when someone has experience in this field or whatever, they're not just what you're talking about, but just everything in general in life, you kind of have to believe that you trust them to have done the best job they could at what they did, building the bridge.
Yeah, in this particular instance, though, I'm actually examining the fact that when it comes to the thing you're standing on, nobody knows what that is. As far as like those who think it's like a globe, they're trying to put it in the framework of like, it's an oblate spheroid, it's this, it's that. But overall, the entirety of the Earth is unknown by everyone.
So
like the whole thing, like the whole entire thing, there's no, like, even for us in here, we're just describing what the surface of the known world is. The surface of the known world is a horizontal plane. So the unknown world would be the entirety of the whole Earth. All of it, whatever it is in its entirety, is unknown.
But you also have to understand, like people, like, I don't want to say normal lives, that have normal lives, but like, if I were to get an hour worth of what you say, right, of what you, I'm not going to say believe, but what we know, or what you say right, about the Earth.
Yeah.
People are going to look at me fucking nuts. Like, they're not even going to listen to me. Even if it is true, bro, like, outside of here, like, no one's going to...
Well, think about it, HewDrew. If I could just draw a comparison, right? Think about a long time ago, man. People used to think of all kinds of mythologies, right? That the gods were, these planets are, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Neptune. Like, those were actual gods, right? A long time ago. And now you have thinking that, human progression would mean that people are advancing in their knowledge of things, and this came about to where now people are not saying that they're gods, they're planets, they're other things, right? So it didn't just go from a form of like not knowing and thinking of mythology to like now knowing and categorizing them in some kind of scientific inquiry. That didn't happen. all it was is just a rebranding of how people don't know still today. So they gave something mythological gods, names and stuff, and now today it's a bit more scientific. They got like these specific, constituent parts that one of those things up there in the sky is made of. These elements that they're made of, gas giants and all that. So we're no further from back then than we are today. It's the same. It's just rebranded and renamed into something different. You get what I mean? It's still the same belief idea, but just different. So if you were to say this, those things up there aren't what you think they are because you haven't proven it, they're going to look at you like you have three heads. They go like, what? What are you talking about, dude? We know this is true. And you're like, dude, a long time ago, if you were to told a guy, yeah, those lights in the sky up there are not gods. They're like, dude, yes, they are. That's Jupiter right there. I'm looking at it. Were you saying that's not Jupiter, the god Jupiter? That's him. It's right there. I'm pointing to him. And it's in the same fashion. That's what they're doing today. They're pointing at those things and saying, dude, come on. Those are planets, dude. That's a gas giant. Duh. We all know this. They're doing the same thing they did a long time ago. It's just rebranded and renamed into something different. This is the psychology behind all of this, dude. So yes, they would disagree with you because the masses have been indoctrinated to think of what the popular idea is. Just like as it was a long time ago. So it's no different, HewDrew. Just rebranded and renamed. Does that make sense? It's like a direct comparison to like how people used to think a long time ago to how people think now, and there isn't anything different. There's no new techniques. There's things that they tell you that is happening. Well, we got a lot of technological advances, and we're using this and that and all kinds of stuff. But dude, at the end of the day, they'll tell you this is our best guess. You get what I mean? I just want you to see that that's what's happening, Drew. It's
Bro,
the same
I
thing.
play devil's advocate all the time. I just like you just called on me when I was doing something, and you put me on the spot, so I just said yes, just to like not to shut you up, but it was just like, yeah, okay. Like I look at both sides of the story a lot of times, and then I make my conclusion. I agree with you. Like, show me the evidence. Like, if there's no fucking evidence, then I don't want to fucking hear it, right? So I agree with you. It's just that honestly, I don't know why I clicked on this channel. It is intriguing, but like for me, it's not important, so I won't retain it. So you can, I could be here for a whole hour, and you could say the most knowledge you can ever do to this topic, and I will not retain it, and it's pretty much pointless as far as on my side. On your side, you can probably go, okay, well, that's +1. I finally got someone that actually understands that they've been lied to their whole life. Like I get it.
You know that that's what we're not. First of all, if that was the heart of my aim, I would be here trying to argue myself till I'm blue in the face until the cows come home. I'm not here to do that. I'm here for clear exposition of the fact that people such as yourself and everybody else just have a clear belief, and it's just really. It's a belief in occultism. That you don't know that. Of course you don't. You think it's real science that's going on. But it's occultism. It all has to deal, like I just named these planets that have mythological god names, and you can't disagree with me that the origins of these names came from, the occult. So all of these pagan origins that these things have just been rebranded and renamed to now like what you think is true scientific endeavors. And there's nothing different from occultism. So you're just in a giant cult, essentially. But you can be happy in that occult too. It's like you don't have to do any. Your mind doesn't have to do any work, Drew. You could just drift along and say like, yeah, I don't really give a shit either way. But the fact of the matter still is here that our exposition of the topic is that minds have been exposed to the information that the Earth is a globe and solar system and galaxies. But there's no evidence of that. And people are just believing, like they did a long time ago, in the occult. That's all it is. And we're here to expose that. I'm not here to convince you, bro. I don't care if you walk away from this and you're like, oh, dude, that's profound. I don't. I want at least a mind to bounce off of whether they know or not the Earth is a globe. And we hear every day. Sometimes people are indifferent. Sometimes people do give a shit. They're like, I really want to know. Never know who I'm going to speak to. Like I said, Maybe by divine appointment you came here. Who knows? Maybe somebody out there that's listening on YouTube needed to hear this. We don't know that. All right, but we will.
That's fine.
Say again.
Oh, so yeah, that's fine. Like I said, bro, like this whole thing, I'm not trying to bring this down because I obviously it's a channel for this. I think I clicked on the wrong thing and I just got stuck into this. Like, honestly.
Well, at least we got some good exposition. That's on our part. You might have just got nothing out of it. We got good exposition as to another mind who is indifferent, and the reason behind it. Because you've been conditioned to be indifferent. That's all.
You know, it's interesting, Alpha. I don't think the internet is a great cross-section of the society at large. But it is interesting that most people would be happy to stay in ignorance, even if there was something new, new information, or the truth were to be, given to them. They really don't care to have it, which is kind of terrifying. That most people reject new ideas, reject new information, don't even consider it, especially if it basically refutes their current paradigm. Kind of a problem.
It's weird too. It says who, but I think that the current education system is meant to enslave minds versus change them to be critical thinkers, because they're brought up to be thought of as yes men and to obey their masters and to capitulate to what's being said by authorities. So it is true that HewDrew would have this indifferent perspective because he's been conditioned to think this way all his life. Right. He's never thought how to use his mind critically and to analyze information, just to accept what's been given and not to give a shit about anything else. So a mind is enslaved, and it's happy to be because it doesn't have to think. The authorities will do all the thinking for them. So, I mean, you can't do anything more, for a mind that's been like that. So
yeah, you can't save everyone, man. It's just how it is.
It's not about that. It's about having the opportunity to present whether or not the information can be substantiated, and of course we're showing that many people are ill-equipped to do so or just don't care. Either way, we want to expose the fact that this is the case. But a critical thinking mind will be able to differentiate whether or not it can process the information as like the one we were saying, that the information about the globe has just been nothing more than occultism. Because it's steeped in occultism, heliocentrism, the sun god Helios, all this came from occultism, and you're just in the biggest cult there ever was. And then it's what do you want to do with that? You just want to keep thinking that that's the case? That's up to you, man. If it helps you sleep at night that you don't have to think of anything and you let other people think for you,
see, that's the problem, bro. I just said this topic. I didn't say anything about everything else. I am a critical thinker. It's just on certain things.
I don't think so. It leaches
100% of the things I listen to.
This erodes. It corrodes, right? Because if you accept this, there's no real way to say what you wouldn't accept of the gambit of information that comes at you at light speed every day. Because you get dings and pings from your of your apps on your phone and all kinds of stuff. And how are you processing that information? And when you hear something saying, well, new scientific discoveries have shown that there's a new planetary system only 5 light years away, you're going to look at that information and be like, cool, bro. That's so cool. Anyways, let me get on about my day. You don't care. In other words, this information that's coming at you doesn't have any filter, bro. There's nothing to stop this information from coming at you, except for you being able to process that and discern whether or not that's true based on anything real. That's what I'm saying. There's no filter, bro. You're just either accepting it or saying, nah, it's not important. But you're not saying, wait a minute, how the hell did they come up with this?
What is that saying that if you can convince someone of absurdities, you can convince them to commit atrocities? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a profound quote, because I think it was one of the premier atheists that quoted that saying. I'm not sure what the exact guy was. You guys might pull him up He's one of the leading atheists. I think he was one of the founders. But yeah, he did make that quote, which is like kind of crazy that he said it, because that's exactly what's happening now. The absurdities that people are believing are helping people to commit these atrocities, right? Like, why would they want to go and fight for oil that is limited when there's like we have like an endless supply? Like, there's been just going into that like a little bit as to like why even in this particular arena, right? Like you'd say, like for the earth being what it is, it's bountiful, it's plentiful, there's enough for everyone, right? But they make it seem like this, this planet idea as limited resources, and we're running out. So we got to get as much our hands on or whatever we can. When you look at
the scarcity, the globe is the scarcity world. Everything is scarce.
You got to fight for all this stuff, and it's like, dude, how many times like can you plant something in the ground? It will give you crop, to feed people. Like you got seeds, you got methods of farming and stuff, but people don't look at that, right? They only look at the things that are happening in the news, and they base their worldview on that. So maybe that's what HewDrew's just used to. He's used to just basing his worldview off whatever information's coming at him, and like, yeah, I guess that must be true.
I'm telling you, I'm not.
Well, and that's the case. That's the case. What I'm saying is what's happening in here, because your worldview is determined by how you process information. That's what's determining what you think the Earth is, dude. What's determining why you would say that, North Korea is in disagreement with the U.S. or whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. Information that's being processed by you is being filtered through how you discern things. And what is the standard for that?
Maybe not him directly, but how many people are, instead of doing productive things, are actually spending so many resources, time, and actual people are sitting down and NASA or these space agencies just wasting taxpayer money. Like, people have to go to work to pay these billions or trillions of dollars, just wasting time and resources and money just in a lie, nonsense. Yep. And it has huge ramifications. Your children being told this lie as well. I mean, it definitely affects people, directly or indirectly.
It gives us a peek, and I think Says Who was kind of encapsulating it. He's like, it just gives us a window into humanity. Somebody that didn't really intentionally click on this place actually wound up here. And even though that was the case by accident, Drew's actually finding out that this place here, this forum, is built on how people process information. And he's saying, well, he's not like one of those guys that don't process. He's like one of those guys that does have a way to discern. And I was asking for, well, what way is that? Because if you're accepting the Earth as a globe and all the things that come with it, what makes me think that you have any way to discern whatever else information you're listening to is, put through a critical thinking process? I don't know that. Sounds like to me like you're accepting everything that's, CNN saying, whatever these like leading news authorities are putting out. You're just like, yep, I got it. Yep, that's it. Got my morning cup, got my news, got, everything's happening like the way it should or not, based on, whatever information I'm hearing.
And who does that?
What, the discernment?
Yeah.
You.
Anyone, everyone.
You should be able to. I mean, you should be able to say, wait a minute, how can I know if the war in, whatever location is occurring the way it is? Like, am I just going to, okay.
Just because I said in this topic doesn't mean I'm doing it for other topics.
Yeah, so why won't you do it here?
Because I just got here. I know nothing about this,
yeah,
bro.
That's great. But what I'm asking for is like, yeah, that's fine. You just got here. What I'm asking for is, why wouldn't there be any like way to think about or process any of the information that we would speak about in here? And for you to just be a bit nonchalant about it, just like, doesn't matter, really. We got bigger fish to fry. I'm like, dude, no. If you can't process information, critical thinking and the way you process information in this room is a big fish that you haven't fried? Maybe you should.
Well, I'd like to speak about that for just a second. Drew, you've had the ball, the globe Earth, the heliocentrism shoved in your face your entire life. It's not like you just got here. In fact, it was probably one of the first things you were shown when you entered the Earth. So, how have you critically thought about it? Do you think you're spinning right now? Let's just ask that one question. You feel like you're spinning on a ball?
I'm not really familiar with this topic, so
Excuse me, you are too. You are too. Are you? Do you think, or do you feel like you're on a ball that's spinning right now? You know what I'm talking about.
I would say no.
Okay. So someone told you you were on a ball and you were spinning, and you just blindly believed him. So it's not a matter of you just got into this topic. You've known about this topic your entire life. You never critically thought about it. Are you politically active, Drew?
No.
No. Okay. Why not?
Because you can never tell who's lying and who's telling the truth.
Well, there you go, right? So what other topics have you kind of had your eyes opened about in life? What else have you scrutinized?
You mean like just like critical thinking? I mean, it's almost everything.
Okay. Well, I'm just, if you're not politically active because you know that ultimately the quote-unquote controllers are probably lying to us, right? That there's kind of no point to be involved in that silly game as much as you possibly can be. Try to avoid it, right? But so if that's something you understand, then this is something else that I'm actually, I'm not trying to convince you of anything, but if you want to know the truth, if that's something that you like, if you'd like to be well informed, and not only well informed, but actually knowing what is true, like Alpha said, knowing how to parse through what's true and what's not, how you critically think about things, then this will really sharpen up your toolbox. You can be further freed from any idea of control, right? At least as far as your mind is concerned about where you actually live, because you live on the earth. It'd be helpful to know a lot about where you live, because this is where you're going to get your food from. This is where you get your water from. This is where you get your air from. This is where you get your shelter from. Kind of important. But, it's up to you. Like I said, we can't convince you of anything. But it's an interesting one. It'll really mess up your head for a while.
I think he's reflecting on what you said, maybe, or maybe just not focused. No one can.
Well, I'm pretty sure when I came in, correct me if I'm wrong, but I basically said sure. I don't I'm sure the Earth is a sphere. It's not flat, but I still didn't get any information on why it's not or why it is flat.
Oh, it's measured that way. Everybody uses it and measures it that way. Even the people who survey the Earth, people who make your maps, people who build on it and navigate on it, they all treat it as flat and stationary, and they measure it that way. There's actually no measurements of the ball anywhere. It's just an idea.
See, now we're getting
just a mathematical.
I felt like I was a little attacked here. I wasn't critical thinker, as some of you would say or said, even though, first of all, you have no clue who I am, and second of all, I had no information on what you guys were talking about when I joined. So how was I supposed to come in and?
No, it's not about you. You're basing this off of us attacking. No, it's not attacking. This is the condition of what you said based on our interaction with you at the short amount of time that you did when you joined this place. You said you really don't care, right? It's not a part of something that you think about. So you were a bit indifferent. So you playing the victim right now, it doesn't really help your case, because the obvious truth was you joined this place just because it was random. You didn't mean to. You said so, right?
Yeah, you didn't want to talk about it. So if you would like to have the conversation now, you can go into it.
Yeah, you can have the conversation, but the playing the victim part doesn't need to happen.
Not,
you don't need to say I was attacked. You guys were attacking. No, it doesn't. You could just say, look, man, I just came in with the preconceived notion that this was not the place I wanted to click on. But
correct. But I was just going to say I wanted just to join and like hear a conversation, which I should have said that in the beginning, but you kind of called on me, and I was like, well, I guess I got to say something because there's fucking 30 people in here, so I didn't know
maybe
like,
with
how
good reason,
this works.
Maybe this is a good way for you to realize, maybe to come out of your shell. Maybe you're, what do you call it? The people that don't really like to speak and just stay in the corner, the sheltered folk that are out there. But maybe this is a good way to break away.
It's not that. I just know people in here have more information on whatever you guys were talking about, so I let people speak because they know more information.
There's also a saying, a closed mouth don't get fed. So all you got to do is speak, dude. Say, hey, can you guys tell me what's going on? Like, what do you guys think? Or use your words, dude. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Perhaps you can learn something you didn't know before.
Correct, but there wasn't anyone speaking, so
make
I was thinking about just leaving.
No, it's up to you. It's your choice.
No, I was saying at the beginning because no one was really saying anything, so I was like, well, might as well just next, even like because it was I misclicked anyways, but I don't know, man.
Okay, well, let's just bypass all of that. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't know. Sorry.
That's what we're getting to, dude. Like, you're saying like, well, I just want people to say some things about what you're saying. You were telling Says Who, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Right on. Well,
usually when I do that on maybe not just server, but they're like, oh, well, what's the point of being here? Get the fuck out. That's why I don't do that. I try to answer, but I couldn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well,
like I said, I'm terrible with answering things. Like we're making it known.
We're making it known to you. This is a very open forum that would like to hear some good inquiry into like what flat Earth is. Perhaps you want to find out if the Earth is a globe or not, and we can ask you some questions. But it's definitely a back and forth. It's a great way for us to interact with new people that don't know about this topic. But know this, man. You don't feel like you're going to feel attacked if we disagree with the things that you're saying based on your idea of the Earth being a globe. It's us showing you that there's a reason for us to have that disagreement. So do you want to talk about anything? Like, do you want to at least come from a point that this is the reason why you think the Earth's a globe, or perhaps you want us to show you positive affirmation that the Earth is flat?
Meanwhile, Jedi, could you like mute yourself? The typing is lighting you up every time. You're hot micing.
Typing, I'm scratching my head, but I appreciate it. Thank you.
Drew? Still with us?
Yeah, what's up?
Are you busy doing something? I mean, if you're busy
I am, bro.
something.
My bad.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it does sound like that.
I do 3D printing, and I'm trying to do this model. Sorry.
All right. Well, perhaps you just want to sit and chill. How about that? You can do that too.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. All right. Well.
Yeah. If this channel is distracting you, go to a different one where you're less distracted.
No, it's not like distracting as far as it's just me like answering things. Like I can listen to you guys, but I probably won't catch everything.
Hey, can you make like can you print a globe model that you can attach water on the outside of it? Can you do that?
He probably wasn't listening.
Maybe not.
Yeah, I guess all we have is Martin K. I don't know who else is someone I haven't spoken to. Is Martin K a Glober? Pretty quiet today. Hey, what's everybody doing?
I'm a Glober, Miggy. You want to talk to me? I was 10 years ago. I'll try to take my brain back to 10 years ago, and you can.
You're trying to think that far back? Do you remember what it was like to be a Glober? Were you into like all that space, like videos, and you were?
When I was 11 years old. When I was 11 years old, I got for Christmas a lunar lander with Major Matt Mason. That's pretty much enough said about my indoctrination. You know what I mean? I literally played.
We got Matthew here.
Oh, you want to talk
Matthew Lawrence knows all about the globe. Talk to him. Go ahead.
Oh, he doesn't. He just has stories.
He thinks he knows, don't you, Matthew? You get your best
I
guess.
do think I know.
Your best guess. It's his best guess. You guys go ahead.
I thought you said all you have is stories.
I would call them explanations, not stories, but yeah.
They're the same thing.
Matthew has better explanation.
Sounds like one of Donald Trump's quotes. We got the best explanations. All the best explanations ever.
That's right. Nobody else has better explanations.
Nobody has better explanations like we do.
Gonna make explanation again.
Explanations for the wins.
Yeah, it's an explanation for his belief. What is his definition, right? Statements.
The political Viking got his popcorn ready. He said, "Explanations are worthless without demonstration." Demonstrate, Maddie. I guess he's gonna enjoy his popcorn while you.
Yeah, explanations are just a way of describing the observations we see.
Bob's your uncle.
No, descriptions would be descriptions of the things that you see. Explanations would be, actually showing us how or why in a demonstration of how things happen.
Yeah.
We don't need to do that. Shoot.
The description would be the sun is moving across the sky. The explanation is the earth is a ball spinning on.
And what's missing is the demonstration of that.
Well,
so let's talk about something we probably all agree on. But I would say we all agree that water is H2O. If somebody says water is H2O, is that a description or an explanation or a demonstration? What would you call that idea?
It's a description. It's a description.
Another thing we know about water is that it doesn't attach itself on the outside of spinning globe. It doesn't do that. The real water doesn't, right, Matthew? It doesn't.
Well, in some scales it does. Like you can take a basketball and get it wet, and it will stay wet for a while. That's water sticking to a globe.
There you go, Dempsey.
Damp balls, mate. There you go. Damp balls prove the Earth is a sphere.
Yeah.
You got to prove that water can stick to a globe.
You're really going to go with wet basketballs, Matthew?
Yes, it's an example of water sticking to a globe.
Yes. Wet basketballs, globe, or clipboard. Where you at, brother?
Hey Matthew, what happens when you have a wet ball and the sun hits it? What happens to the wet ball? Does it get dry or does it stay wet?
It gets dry and the water disappears, evaporates.
I'm more convinced every day. Like Matthew Learns gives a valid counter argument, and these clowns just laugh. Oh my goodness! Somebody agrees with you, Matthew. You got one cheering you on.
Very compelling argument, Matthew. Good job, man.
Yeah, what else can we do? What can you say to that? You know what I mean?
What's up, nigger monkeys?
Wait, what?
They want to talk about why the niggers are bad for society.
You're probably going to get muted soon, dude.
Yeah, a bunch of people popped in.
He's looking for his daddy, but his daddy's not here. Go to another channel. He might be in a different channel if you call him for his name. The N-word. He's looking for his daddy, but he's not here though.
You speak the lingo? Yeah, hey lingo. Good lesbian.
Lingo?
A good lesbian.
Oh, good lesbian. If you're there, go ahead and open up your mic. Let's have a conversation. Oh, they're showing Good Lesbians showing a image of the globe Earth. Is it the blue marble? Yeah.
Jedi, sorry, but it seems like you need to mute yourself.
Shut up. Thank you.
All right. All right. So, Good Lesbian, if you're there, go ahead and open up your mic if you have an argument for the Earth being a globe.
Is that picture supposed to be your proof, or are you just proving that people can paint and draw things with the computer? Which one? I'm not sure.
Wow, guys, they really got pictures. I never thought about that one. Maybe it's a real pic, but you better investigate it.
Well, I mean, yeah, doesn't sound
Maybe
like Good
they're
Lesbian.
flat. I think they're a flat earther, just showing that the picture's fake. Maybe I think that's what it is.
Lengo is their name. I am Lengo. Politics Shogun, Libertarian Right, 14 other roles. Conservative, traditionalist, capitalist, pro-life, free will, Christian, Protestant, man, straight, gamer, student, shit poster, investor, zoomer. It's a young person, yeah? Hence the reason why Good Lesbian is an introvert and not wanting to get on the mic. Because he's probably an iPad kid. Grew up with an iPad or something. Never been exposed to real conversation, perhaps? Maybe. Unless you unmute and prove me wrong.
Clearly a flat earther. You're a flat earther.
Shall I read this up for everyone? Anyway, point is, comparing water sticking to a tennis ball and water sticking to the earth is obvious. Because a tennis ball has little mass, it doesn't create a lot of gravity. The earth is very large. It creates a lot of gravity, so water is attracted to it. I'd love you to unmute yourself.
Inshallah, unmute yourself, man.
So in that explanation, they're wrong about gravity? Is that what you're saying?
Hey, we got Kila that just joined. Kila would say, is the Earth a globe?
I don't know, man. I never saw it.
You don't know?
Kila was here last night. Yeah,
Damn, so like it's like 30 people sitting here and like nobody speak nothing.
Well, we're just waiting for you to actually provide some evidence if you think the Earth is a globe. Are you able to do so?
Damn, you guys wait for me.
Yep. Or anybody, actually.
Oh fuck, bro.
You're the guy who just came in here. Do you have any evidence, sir, or no?
What evidence, bro?
That the Earth is a globe.
How the fuck you expect me to have evidence, man? I'm a guy on the Discord, bro.
All right, good.
So no, then?
That's a no.
Yeah, no, I don't have evidence.
Hey, that's honest right there. I think most people would be better off just saying that.
Yeah, starting off with that.
That's what I was going to say, Sis. Thank you for being honest. Go ahead, go.
Thank you.
Moving right along.
But what is your guy opinion on the shape?
Oh, we don't have an opinion. We just see reality for what it is, and it's a horizontal plane. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't see that?
I don't know, like what you're aiming.
Horizontal plane looks like a flat Earth that extends outward, horizontally, everywhere.
I don't know if it's everywhere, man.
Well, it looks like from your vantage point, it looks like it extends outward, right?
Yeah, but like depend like like where you are and how you're looking.
Well, we're looking horizontally across the surface.
Real quick, Miggy, have you ever stood on a beach, buddy, and looked out at the horizon? Does it look like a ball? Now I'm shutting up.
Yeah, but like how you expect to look like a ball, to be honest?
Well, the size of the Earth would dictate that an observation being made on the surface would show at least the surface curving in some way, in some form, and we could be able to detect it and measure it in some way.
So it's not pardon. So it's not possible to measure it.
Well, we're asking, and is there any evidence that it has been, Kila?
No, bro, I don't know, man. Like I really don't know
that's the thing.
anything
Yeah,
about the
this
topic.
is the point we're making, right? This is the point we're making.
Okay, but like, why then the flat Earth community don't like measure it?
Well, we are saying that the surface is measuring flat. In other words, it's a horizontal plane measured from sea level. So there's going to be elevation profiles from like land topography. But what we're saying is that it still extends outward as a horizontal plane, even though we have land topography. So it's still horizontal.
I'm sorry. So like, from my perspective, we don't say, for example, if we fly the plane straight, like on like 10,000 kilometers, and we're gonna say all the time, we're never gonna like leave the how you say the Earth. We will always be like still in the air.
Yeah, what's your point?
Thank you. Welcome to Flat Earth. Good proof.
Yeah, what's
Sorry,
your point?
Miggy.
No, so I mean, like that's my question. Like, is the plane always gonna be in the air, or he gonna like leave the air, and enter the space?
I get what you're saying. You're trying to say, is the plane gonna go off into space?
I'm sorry for my English. Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
No, because it's using aerodynamics, which means that it can only apply the same
not literally. I'm sorry, not literally the literal plane, but for example, like imagine the plane who can go like in the air and he can go into the space. If the Earth it's like spherical or like round, at some point, if the plane it's always going that's straight, like he should like leave. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen.
Okay. But like, did we have did anybody like test that ever?
Yeah, people that fly planes.
The data shows it.
When they reach cruising altitude, they just go straight level. They do straight level flights on a horizontal plane that they're flying over, and they reach their destination horizontally.
Okay, but like in that sense, like that's mean there is like no end then.
What do you mean there's no end?
But like if the plane can constantly go straight, and not enter the space.
Yeah, but we're the only thing the plane is okay. So we're gonna
not plane. I'm sorry for
like
maybe it's wrong example. A rocket, like whatever, Superman who can fly, like no matter what, the object who can fly,
Yeah, you're talking about is it possible to go to space? Is it possible? Is that what you're asking?
No. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for like what I'm trying to explain. Like if the Earth is like round, like a flat. If the Earth is flat, and if you constantly fly straight, and like you're in the air and you constantly fly straight, like is there gonna be the point where like you are not like anymore like in the Earth? You're not. You know what I mean?
No, they're flying.
Oh, we're in containment.
You're trying to say where's the end of the edge of the Earth? He's trying to ask.
No, yeah, but the plane, because you're saying airplane, right? Airplane?
No matter if it's airplane, like whatever, like the bird, like whatever, what can fly. You know what I mean? Like where is the edge then? Like somebody said, yeah.
Yeah,
that's what he's asking.
Yeah, no one's making a claim to an edge.
No. I don't say it. Like that's what I'm asking. Like that's my question. Like I don't understand it.
Oh, I don't know what you're asking for.
I think he's asking if something can fly forever, where would it go? Would it reach the edge?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's a hypothetical though. We have to use practical examples of something that's real world. If I use a hypothetical, think about it like this, Kila. Think about it like this. If I use a hypothetical, I have to invoke a lot of things that are practical. So I have to use
understandable.
But I have to invoke things that we can do, like people that fly planes. So if that's the case, then how people fly planes are not just randomly going into one direction. That's not how it operates. You have to use this is why I'm saying this is not applicable. You need to use a real world example for your hypothetical. That's the only way that this could make sense. If you use a hypothetical that's far-fetched, it does not make sense. I can't use that as an example and then counter you with an example that's going to say anything to rebut what you said. Because you're giving me a far-fetched hypothetical, which means that it's a crazy hypothetical. I can't counter your crazy hypothetical because it's not practical. You cannot do the thing you say you're doing.
Okay, so if it's gonna be like easier for you to understand, with like no examples, if it's Earth the flat, where is the edge?
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. No one is making a claim to that.
No, I don't say claim. I asking the question, man. Like what claim?
Yeah, so if we're not presenting the Earth with an edge, then how can we tell you the Earth has an edge? If that's not one of our claims, right? If we're not making this presentation to you, hey, the Earth has an edge, and then you say, okay, where's the edge?
That would be the question. Experiments are done.
Hold on. But you would only ask that if we made the claim. If we said, hey, the Earth has an edge, then you could answer or ask the question, where is the edge? Then you would ask that. But you don't ask the question that you're asking right now, where's the edge, if we didn't present that to you. If we didn't give that to you, you can't ask for where's the edge.
I didn't know how to explain on the English. That's only the problem.
Yeah, the
English
limitation.
Is not my first language.
The limitation to this realm is unknown.
So the flat Earth, like it's not only like the Earth is flat, like it's going like into. It's not paranormal. How is it in English?
No, you can't give an explanation right now like you want to because I'm
explanation.
Giving you,
I just wanted to ask the question. Not that I didn't want to explain.
I'm telling you right now, Kila. I'm telling you that it is unknown. The extent of the realm that we exist in right now is unknown.
Okay, why we can't measure then?
It's not about measuring it. The extent of the realm is not known because it cannot be validated. I can't tell you, well, it's about 10 million miles away. I can't tell you any information because it is unknown.
Okay, then, like, what is known?
What is known is the places we have traveled, the places we can go that we can validate. Everywhere you can travel, we can know, we can validate. The known world is a horizontal plane. Yeah.
From like what perspective?
From your vantage point, if you want to travel somewhere,
from the human perspective, but
what else perspective? From the sea lion?
If you
what perspective?
You have the animals. You have the animals. You have this like some things.
We don't do that. We're only doing it from our vantage point. People can report back. I've been to such and such place. All we can do is tell you where people can travel. That's it. That's all. We can't go somewhere where nobody's ever reported to say they've been. Yeah.
Okay, man, but like I still don't understand how that explains.
I do understand, but what you're not understanding.
Yeah, I don't understand.
When we do not know certain things, like the places you think we can travel to, those places you want us to go to the edge. We don't know information to the extent of this realm. We do not have that information, so we can't tell you.
How we can get that information?
Okay, how we can get that information would be that perhaps you or somebody else would travel to such a place, but guess what? even if you travel to a place, how far do you think the extent is?
I don't know, man. Like,
that's the problem. It could be 10 million miles away. It could be 100 million miles away. It could be 1 bazillion, gajillion, whatever you want to make up number.
Yeah, but
like,
that's why you travel to, like, you,
yeah, dude,
like you have
expeditions. Do you have enough gas to get there? Do you have enough food to get there? How far do you think you have to travel? If you Kila, check this out. Let me pose something to you. If you don't know where you're going, how would you prepare for a trip where you don't know the extent of the trip?
Okay,
how would you prepare for that trip?
Yeah.
No, Kila, answer my question.
Yeah, I will answer. Yes, I will answer your
answer
question.
directly. How would you prepare for a trip
the
where you
same
have no knowledge on the distance?
The same way, the people, when they try to, when they travel to find, when they go to the India, but they accidentally, like, find America, when they go, like, on all these, like, expeditions.
Another cool story.
I will do it like that, man.
Yeah, well, what is that? Tell me, what are you taking with you when you don't have enough gas, don't have enough
What
food?
you mean? I don't have. How you know that I will not have,
Okay, then tell me what listen to me very carefully. You want to prepare to go to see where the edge is. What are you taking with you?
Bro, I'm not doing logistic like that.
That's what I'm telling you would be needed, sir. You would need to be prepared logistically if you're going to go travel to someplace you've never been. You don't, number one, Kila, no, you don't get this. Number one, you don't know the extent. So you can't prepare for a travel, dude. You don't know the extent.
How do you mean people discover America, bro? How do you mean people discover other, like, continents? They didn't know.
Nobody did. This was already a land that's known about, dude. It was already settled. What the hell are you talking about?
How do you mean it's already known about it?
Yeah, it's another cool story you're trying to bring up. Maps were already made in that time, so nobody discovered anything. People got lost. Yeah.
This was a known territory.
Who discovered these maps? Who make these maps? The people needed to discover the places.
That's
so they
a whole
would
other
be able
conversation.
Bro, I speak about original people. The same way how they do it, I will do.
Okay,
is that enough?
Let me paint you a different story or a different picture. All right, at that time, people were allowed to explore without any kind of bar, or what I'm saying is they didn't have any limitations, especially by a greater authority or an authority that had more guns than them. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to compare apples to apples. I want you to call your local congressman, and I want you to have him lift the ban on exploration. Okay? Everybody call their local congressman or the members of parliament or let's just call it the banking cartel, and have them lift the ban on independent exploration of the earth. Can you do that for me? Then we can have an apples to apples comparison.
Okay, understandable. So, like, you want to say, we don't know because the governments don't
wait.
Sure.
Even if we were prohibited to go logistically to go certain places, let's just say that would be the first red tape, and then you would somehow overcome that in some way. Let's say you got the permission.
Okay.
I'm asking you to tell me, how would you prepare for such a trip?
Damn, bro! Like I don't understand. Like what you don't understand.
Oh my God!
I answer
I'm speaking clear English. You should be able to,
I answer the question. I answer the question, man. I answer the question. Like, do you want me to tell you? Like, I will have like this many sardines. I will have this many toilet papers.
Yes.
All right. Yeah.
Bro. Do you think?
That's what I'm asking.
Do you think? I'm sorry, man. Do you think that in my free time I sit at my home and I prepared myself to travel, like into unknown?
Well, right, that's an excellent point.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, dude.
He's showing you that if you were to go, you wouldn't know where you were going. Where you would go, how much gas you would need, how much.
I understand that, man. I understand that.
No, you don't, because you think it's possible. Why don't we do it? Why doesn't flat earthers do it? Dude, even if you overcame the logistical
expedition,
problems,
man, expedition, it's called expedition. Okay, you go to one point.
Just wait. Stop talking, yammering through me. Okay, so even if you overcame the fact that you could travel to certain places, where the fuck do you think you're going, and how much gas do you think you're going to have to get there?
I need
problem here.
I need gas.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck if it's a boat or walking or whatever the fuck you think.
How the Vikings are come to the UK.
You don't tell me how the Vikings did shit, dude. I want you to tell me how the fuck you're gonna prepare for something going into a place you don't know the destination to.
Bro. I answer the question multiple times, bro. In my free time, I don't sit at home thinking about how I'm gonna prepare myself.
Fuck, dude, you're asking the question now. You're asking it right now to us. Who gives a fuck what you did in your room? I don't care. You're asking the question now, which means that at least you're thinking about it. So think about this. Think of it, Kila. Fucking think about this. If you're going from point A to point B, right? Where the fuck is point B, dude? If it's unknown.
I don't care where it is. I'm gonna.
We fucking do. Bro. If we're gonna go travel someplace, I'm not just gonna say, "Hey, put a tank of gas and a couple of sandwiches, and let's go head south." Let's just go south. Let's just keep going south. We're just going to find the extent of the realm. Fuck, we might die because we might never reach it, but we don't fucking know. We're just going to go because Kila has an idea that all you got to do is fucking put some lunch sacks, and perhaps like 2 gallons of gas and just fucking go south. And then we're going to touch the edge.
Of gas, bro. Like what you speak about. Like, man, do you really
idiotic idea that you think that we're just going to travel somewhere and reach the extent of the realm,
maybe
dude.
The idea is like actually really good, but like, yeah, you are mad because you don't think about that.
You're a goddamn fool, dude, to think that we're just going to jump on some vehicle and go one direction and think we're going to reach the extent of the realm.
What vehicle, man?
Yeah,
that's our question.
Fucking vehicle, dude.
Bicycle, bro. Sit on the bicycle,
Oh my gosh, dude.
You're a fool.
You're a dumbass.
Dude, you've never thought about this question.
He played that game.
You've never thought about this question up until this point.
Of
up
course,
until you could ask it.
Because I don't care about that question, man. Like you are flat Earth.
Then why the fuck did you ask it?
Am I right? Am I right?
Why did you ask it?
You guys believe here in the flat Earth. Am I right?
Dude, why did you ask the question if you don't care about the answer? Why?
Because it's clear now he has a problem with the people and not the subject. It's clear all the flat tards are fucking flat tards, so it's the people and not the subject, obviously.
Well, you know what's interesting too is that even drilling down to the reasoning behind why he would ask it, now he doesn't care because he's stuck. He doesn't know how to rectify the fact that even if he had permission to travel on the surface
Nigga, you just
Earth,
speak too much. You speak too much. You don't say nothing, man. You don't say nothing. You speak too much saying nothing.
I'm speaking about your ignorance on having the question being asked. Well, just go to the extent. Just travel to the edge. Dude, where the fuck is that? How will I prepare for a travel if I don't know where I'm going, dude?
I will not give you how I will prepare myself, I will not tell you.
No shit, Sherlock. That's what I'm fucking saying. That's what I'm telling you.
What you saying? What you telling me?
Dude, how would I be able to prepare for a travel that I don't even know where I'm going?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you need like YouTube tutorial? Because for your fucking American mind are too much retarded to understand something. Like you need YouTube tutorial to prepare you for something like that.
You don't even understand.
A YouTube tutorial. Okay, so look. The question is for you.
I need YouTube tutorial.
Dude, relax. Why are you freaking out? Why are you freaking out like a 2-year-old, bro? Are you alright?
I'm not, man. The way how he speaks, the way he energy, I'm gonna give him the same. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Don't blame other people for your freakouts. This is your problem. So he's asking you a very simple question. So what is the edge? Why are you freaking out? Why are you freaking out? Because I'm talking, and all of a sudden you're going to cut me off. You're going to cut me off because I'm talking to you calmly? You're a dick.
Yeah. Away he goes. Idiotic, dude. It's like, I'm just going to jump in a boat and just travel.
No.
Let's go to the extent.
Hello, Sins. I know you don't think the Earth is flat, bro.
No. Quick, before you can start with the next guy, I would throw in a shout out to Helio.
No, Dave. Sins, I know you don't think the Earth is flat, do you?
No.
All right, I'll mute.
There you go, you guys.
Who is this guy?
Sins at the top. He doesn't think the Earth is flat.
Have we spoken to him before?
No, negative.
Okay.
Nobody's picking it up.
The conversation went that direction because, of course, that question, it's like Well, why don't you just travel to the edge? Like nobody even mentioned an edge. Number one, number two, how is that possible? Humanly possible. Let's travel to a location we never been to or even know where it is, and prepare for that. It's like let's just keep going, man. I don't know where we're going, but we're going.
Hey, Alpha.
And that was the perfect time to throw in Helio. Always said I would definitely get on a plane at point A and not know where point B is.
What were you saying? Who was it? Somebody just woke up.
Yeah, Alpha. Who wants to sign up for a trip where the temperatures are so cold they're fatal within minutes?
That guy. I sure as hell ain't going that direction.
Yeah, you run out of fuel, you're dead.
I mean, you guys are welcome to try to find the extent of the realm, dude. I'm not. That's not a part of what I want to do.
Yeah, what's interesting is that we don't even know if going south is where we're going to find the extent, right? Or north. We don't know that.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, how would you that whole question, man, it's just so much problems.
It's the power of the propaganda, right? So that little illustration where you have a disc-shaped Earth in space with water falling off the edge and boats and stuff, most people have seen that. And so they just instantly trigger to that, like, oh, well, where's the edge end where the boats fall off? They always ask.
Yep.
It's powerful propaganda.
It's not that, but when they talk about that, it's just like Miggy said, it's just getting over the hurdle of the fact that you will be travelling horizontally. They don't want to talk about that. They want to talk about the edge. Where's the edge?
Yeah.
Because they can't handle that. You will be flying horizontally for 3,000 miles, to 6,000 miles, to 9,000 miles, 12,000 miles, 100,000 miles an hour. You'll always be flying horizontally, travelling horizontally. But they want to talk about the edge.
Yeah, who is Sins, by the way? Ranger? Is there somebody?
Yes, I'm not sure somebody, but I think. Oh my God!
Oh, you think you know who this guy is? Like from a?
Nah, my fault, gang. I'm new. I'm just, you feel me?
No, he's new. I was just saying.
Oh, he's your friend.
New. He entered and he doesn't believe it. No, I don't know this person at all.
Oh, you don't know.
Oh my God!
Sorry. All right, Sins.
I was just setting you guys up. That's all. I guess I just have to say.
So do you in any way think that the Earth is a globe, Sins?
Low key.
You're using some of the Zoomer vernacular, yeah? Low key? Okay, low key. That means, and I can interpret that. That means you kind of know, right?
Yeah, I guess. I
think that's what I know what that word meant. All right, so I'm not a.
I always thought he meant he was kind of shy about it.
Nah, low key means that they kind of know. Like that's what it means. Like somewhat. That's what low key means.
I mean, I'm 50 next year, man. I didn't have a clue.
Actually, AB, it's kind of confusing. It could mean a lot. So, like, if you say, "Oh, I like that girl over there," or no, the girl asks you, "Do you like her?" and you say low key, but you actually like her a lot. It's kind of confusing. So you never know.
Oh, it could be the opposite. But I guess in the context, right? Like what's being said. Okay, so in this case,
indeed.
I think he agreed with me. He kind of knows the Earth is a globe. I think that's what that low key meant. All right, sorry to harp on that word. All right. So, in what way, low key, do you know the Earth's a globe?
All right, bro. So boom. I'll say like how you can see the moon, and that's like in a way, you know how planets are. In a sense, not really.
Okay, you're saying you're seeing something in the sky, and that's giving you some kind of mind to think that the Earth is like those things.
I would think like, yeah. I don't think planets are flat.
Well, you're comparing the Earth to that thing up there. So, in other words, in order to have a comparison, you have to have a way to relate the Earth to look like that thing up there. So, give me one comparison of what is similar to the thing you're looking at. What on the Earth is similar to that up there?
Are you talking about like The sun?
No, it doesn't matter. What the moon, the sun, anything that you're looking at. Give me one clear comparison to that up there to the thing that's down here that you're standing on.
I would believe it's another planet, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about what you believe. I'm talking about draw me a clear comparison as to like how they're the same.
Because if you looking around, we like know what planets are. I would see like stars and stuff, every other thing, right? I don't know. Like
interesting question, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Just think about it, right? Like next time you think about like those things up there, like what we're standing on, just think about the comparison. Like try to compare anything that you can think of what those things are to what you're standing on, and see if you can find any kind of comparison to that. Is there any other way that you can low key think of the Earth as a globe, other than that?
I would say Mars got water, but they say we travel to the moon. All right. We have we got satellites. Get down.
You said Mars has water?
And I think that's what they were saying.
Oh, how did they prove that to you?
I'm not even sure how they did it.
Oh, that's something to look into also, right?
Indeed. It is.
Okay. So we're just dealing with at least the things that they're telling you that the Earth is a globe. It's a giant ball that you're standing on. Trying to figure out how that's the case. So I'm asking you questions of maybe how you can perceive it that way. And if you can't perceive it that way, you can say, well, shoot, I don't know. Right?
Also, we got the little spinny globe thing, you know.
What do you call that?
What do you call that?
I don't know. What do you call it? Is it Earth?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
It shows the different parts of Earth.
Well, the spinny globe that's on the desk. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, but what's the comparison from that to what you see outside?
Comparison.
Yeah.
Everything is so close, you feel me? Compared to that big.
Well, then you can't compare it, right?
Not really, from my experience. Yeah.
Or you're muffled, Sins.
Oh yeah. Not really from my experience like that. Like you really can't like that.
Right, and that's what I'm saying is how can we draw a comparison to what they're showing us to what the Earth is outside?
How can we draw it?
No, a comparison. Like you got a globe in one hand, you're looking at it, you're spinning it around. I want you to compare anything from that to what you're seeing outside.
Continents. Standing on it.
So you see a continent on the globe. Have you seen that in real life? The way that looks?
I mean, not really, bro. But like,
there you go.
Alright, you got a map. You got a map of the U.S. You know you're in a state or something. You see that on the map. Like you know it's there. Like,
well, I see land. I don't see the actual outline of the state. You're talking about high aerial visualization, right? Like from up high.
Basically. Yeah.
You could see from up high, but you can't see like the state lines that are drawn out like on a map. That's just not perceivable. You just see a big lumpy landmass.
True.
Okay. How do you know it's the curved surface? Like the way you see on the globe?
There's a lot of geographic technology that got like
name one.
Stuff like that. I don't know. Is Google that advanced? Google Maps? No, maybe.
No, that's just a map. You're talking about technology, which means a device would be used in that specific context. Anything?
Just about that, probably.
Okay, so no technology was presented by you. You said there was technology, so. Finding a little bit of trouble here, Sins?
Yeah.
Wasn't as easy as you thought it would be, huh?
Yeah, bro. Got me in a hot seat thinking about it like I never thought about it before.
It's all good, bro. I'm only here to challenge you, man. Like, that's it. Hey, you could just take this as a challenge. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
And something to think about, too. I mean,
yes.
What the takeaway is, I want you to think about the comparison idea that I've given you. If somebody has questions about it, you can also question them. Well, let's do a comparison. What can we see from what you're presenting, like the globe or the moon or anything that you see in the sky, and compare it to the thing you're standing on when you go outside? And try to have people think about it in that way, because that's the only way that it becomes real to you and me. It's if it some way has some sort of comparison to the physical and natural world. And if they can't do it, then it stands to reason that it can't be exactly what you're making the idea of looking at a globe or a map or the moon, because you can't compare what you're seeing on the real world.
Don't we have visuals from satellites? Don't satellites give us visuals? No.
Yeah, well, think about it. Like, so what visual have you seen from a satellite?
All right, not specifically I seen a visual from a satellite, but I did see a video. This guy was recording, he had a balloon, and he let it go up. And looking down at the Earth, it was looking kind of globish, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
Like normally,
do you think that had to deal with the Earth actually curving or the lens itself? How did you make the distinction? It wasn't the lens giving that impression, and it was the actual Earth.
Because I'm so sure it was curvy at ground level too in that video.
I just want you to use your mind to think about how it's possible, since that it wasn't the lens and it was the actual Earth. How did you make the distinction? It was the actual Earth and not the lens.
Shoot, I'm not sure. It's just
there you go, bud.
Or we can just examine some information, see if you can find that video or something like it that proves your point.
Yeah, you could do that too. Search for a video if you want. Present it. We'll look into it. I want you to do your best and to think about it in any way that you can. So I don't know. I'm still thinking about it, but I really want to. I want to have it to where it's like FaceTiming. And then, because my idea was having it set up to where we have like a panel and you can pop on if you want to, like on a Zoom call, and people could see you. If you want, it's a choice, or not. You can just come in like a Discord call. But people get to realize who we are. Actually, 24/7 has like really been in the forefront of having the arguments like put down, and like we always like want to reformulate what we do, like the style and the forum and all that stuff. So we work hard at it. We've curated a platform here to where it's not just Joe Blow, flat earther speaking. These are very concise, very curated points that we've made. We don't allow for just the esoteric flat earther to take charge of our forum and just start speaking. We don't do that here. You better know your shit when you start speaking. Let's put it that way. We're going to call you out. Like, nah, hold on a second. We don't do that. So, yeah, I think, I don't know, it's my opinion, but we do like focus on the ones who have the microphone. Like that to us is important, right? Like who speaks on the subject. And a lot of you guys have spent years doing this. So yeah, you've built up like a reputation from keeping it like logical and concise and all these things. So we're trying for people who are wanting to be in that same realm that we are to be of the same mind. We don't want to waffle too long, which is what I'm doing now. You get what I'm saying?
Yep, we in here using the KISS method. Keep it stupid simple.
I thought it was keep it simple, stupid.
I'm trying to be nice, Miggy. Jeez.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I just want to let it land where it's, But yeah, this whole thing is, I guess with the platform that I was going to be doing this would be, Flat Earth wouldn't be the only thing. It would be controversial topics that would be able to be validated. Like I said, not to shake the foundation of the core principles that we've already established. Because then you dip into esoteric topics and then you don't have a filter to discern from what they have relevance to, like anything we want to talk about that's controversial. So I have particular different topics that I think are controversial that I want to speak on, but Jimsy knows one. I'll give you one, but parasites. So that would be one that I think would be a topic I want to talk about, and the different types and the different ways they affect the human body. Like I said, this is not a health channel, so that doesn't need to be brought up. But that's what I would use in one of the forum that when I have so. Yeah, dude, Drace, there's a myriad of different topics, dude. But yeah, it has to deal with the process of critical thinking. So that's what I was telling the guy earlier. He's still with us right now, HewDrew561. That's what I was telling him. Like, it's how you process information, and whether or not it's true, it would have to be validated. Things you would have to have information to support, right? And to back up, why we would say this would be the case. So it wouldn't just be pulling things out of the air and just saying, oh, let me put my tinfoil hat on. Like, that's bullshit.